Forgive myself for accepting allowing myself to feel excited about doing videos where I speak self-forgiveness and where I help other people. I forgive myself for accepting allowing myself to think I don't know. Forgive myself for accepting allowing myself to think that I need help. So right now what's coming up in my mind is that thoughts that when I forgive myself for feeling excited about helping other people, that I shouldn't be doing that forgiveness. That it's okay to feel excited while helping other people. And that also I shouldn't forgive myself for thinking that I'm helping other people by doing these videos. So it's my mind resisting these forgivenesses that I've done. I know the mind works on energy. It needs energy. It needs thinking. And it wants to keep thinking that I'm helping other people. And it wants to continue with excitement within me. So again, I forgive myself for accepting allowing myself to feel excited when I do this video. I forgive myself for accepting allowing myself to think that I'm helping people by doing these videos. I forgive myself for accepting allowing myself to want to help other people. I forgive myself for accepting allowing myself to feel energetic from helping other people. I forgive myself for accepting allowing myself to want to help the world. I forgive myself for accepting allowing myself to want to save the world. I forgive myself for accepting allowing myself to feel happy that I've saved the world. I forgive myself for accepting allowing myself to imagine myself saving the world. Now I know I have a history of, well, I'll go into it then. I have a history of following my mom's example of what it means for me to be a good person, the kind of person that I need to be, and the kind of person I need to be in order to have the approval of women, of my mom, and the eventual mate that I had in my mind that I would be married to and then have children with, and even just all women in general. So being this good person involved being the savior, being involved helping other people, doing volunteer service, helping people who have been hurt, who are unfortunate. But like I've explained earlier, we're all fortunate, unfortunate. It's all by chance. Right now, the only people you could say are fortunate are people like me, who are doing forgiveness on the things they see within them. These things, this energy, these thoughts, the programming that we didn't see before, that we weren't aware of before, that have been controlling our every thought, every decision, our every movement, our every behavior. And the only real gift that those people could give would just be to help themselves, like I'm helping myself, to be free of, I don't want to say free of, to take back the responsibility of living, of making decisions, of behaving and acting, and no longer using the mind, no longer using patterns of thinking, patterns of behaving that have been ingrained with a purpose. My purpose being to, my whole purpose, I'll share this, my whole purpose for my whole life, every single thought, every single decision has always been pushing myself to be the absolute perfect mate for a woman. From doing well in school, from everything that I thought about when I reflect on my whole life was that the only reason why I started this whole process was I was very fortunate that I was in a relationship that broke apart. And then even lucky again, you could say I started a relationship on purpose, but I also ended it on purpose. You know, I did push myself. So there's the first time I was fortunate, and the second time I was already making my move. And from the, it's, yeah, I don't know how else to put it. I'm both fortunate, and I realize that I'm also moving myself within this. So yeah. So that's been my life, and seeing that was a pretty oh my god moment. And I could only say that chances are it's the same for everyone else, and that would explain why the world is how it is. I know I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for others. But when I look at how other people behave, the decisions they make, the decisions which aren't best for them, the life choices which aren't best for them, and they even say how their life is crappy, they even say all the problems in their life, they share it all the time. So I can say for certainty that everyone has their mind, everyone has their conditioning, and everyone needs to use self-forgiveness. Everyone needs to do this, to change. So, back to my resistance. So even though I identified, you could say, my main or just a very large mind program, like a mind goal, I guess, my goal for this life, my main mission that my mind had. Even though I identify that and see how I lived that through my whole life, all of my little personalities, all my little mind components, all my little characters, like the savior character I was talking about before, about like saving the world. See, that was a character within my entire mind that served the purpose of me getting a woman, being the perfect guy, by being a savior. That was part of the definition. So even though I identified the big one, the whole overall picture, I have to work through all the little characters, all the little people. I have to go through all those little things because they still have a force, they still have a presence within me. like I had with the resistance, my mind, the thoughts. They're still very much energetic. They're still very much alive. So I need to face those things. So and there's plenty. I'm sure there's plenty. I know there's plenty. Okay, so I did self-forgiveness in the Savior character. So I'll say this: when and as I see myself, living as the Savior character. To stop for a moment, breathe, and realize that I can't save the world by myself. And also, the world doesn't need saving. The world only needs all of its inhabitants, the humans, to just start taking care of themselves. Because if they were to just start taking care of themselves, they will start taking care of their environment. And by environment, I mean all meanings of the word. So first, your home environment, then your work environment, and every single other environment you enter in or step into or live in. And if you do that, you will end up taking care of the environment of the earth. Because if you take care of your environment, you see that you take care of yourself. As a practical example, if your room is disorganized or your office is disorganized, your environment is not taken care of, and therefore you will suffer the consequences. And we're all aware of how being disorganized can lead to consequences. That's just one example. There's many other examples we can all relate to and find in our own lives. So the world doesn't need saving. Each person just needs to take care of themselves, support themselves, do what's best for themselves. So if they do that, they will automatically take care of, everything else. Like, I'm doing this for myself, and yet I'm also assisting others, aren't I? It's just part of it. The more you give yourself, the more you give others. You can't give others something that you haven't given yourself. It's actually something that I wrote about today, looking at me and my parents. That my parents couldn't have given me anything that they didn't already give themselves. And my parents only gave me what they've lived their whole entire life while around me in their history. So I've assimilated everything my parents were and are into me as I grew up. If you're a parent and you want to give your children freedom of expression, the ability to express themselves, then the parents need to find that for themselves. Because the children can only assimilate what the parents have already lived for themselves and are living. Because you share that through your touch, through your words, through your whole being, your whole body, when you're around other people, when you're around your child. You're literally transmitting yourself into them, imprinting yourself onto them. So when I speak, it's also the same thing, I suppose. I'm speaking and I'm imprinting onto myself again, which is pretty cool. And also when I write too, because writing involves your body, right? Your hands and your eyes, and you read. So it's also imprinting with your eyes, with your hands, changing the definitions of words within you. So with the savior character. So I did a self-correctment statement. I commit myself to work with me to better my life, to better myself as a person, to reach the fullest potential that I'm capable of, to help me in every single way, to help me grow and expand, to help me live the best possible life. To help me expand and grow, to live the most I can live in this life, because it will expand and include this whole world. I commit myself to remove my beliefs, thoughts, and ideas and opinions. I commit myself to remove my emotions, which are negative, and my feelings, which are positive, which are all energies, which are all just energy within me. Because I see that it's best for me. Because I see the consequences the energy has on me and my life. I'm dictating my decisions, my behaviors, my actions, how I live. Because I see that all the energy that I've had has been the primary driving force for my personality of trying to be the perfect mate for a woman. The reason why I stuck to that was just because of the energy. I didn't really know women. I didn't really know myself. I didn't really know my parents. In my life, my awareness has only been energy. I haven't really got into touch with the physical, what's our actual vehicles in this world, with the actual world around me, with the physical. As long as there's energy, there's that barrier. That as long as there's energy, there's thoughts. As long as there's thoughts, there's energy. And those are barriers. Barriers that create a perception of this world. It's not the real world. And the real world is behind that created perception. That's created by the barrier of energy as emotions and feelings and thoughts. There's a whole world out there, and I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna break down the barrier brick by brick. So that's the savior character. No more. So now I'm just testing with myself. You know, looking at volunteering, looking at, if someone were in danger. Scenarios where you save people or help people, and seeing what kind of reactions come up. Right now it's pretty clear, which is a good sign. It means the self-forgiveness was effective. Well, obviously, if anything comes up, I have to do it self-forgiveness again. So there could be other definitions or other layers there for all I know. But for now, it's pretty good. It's pretty cool. So good job. Okay, so I feel like this is a good ending for a vlog. I'll see into making this little series just because, like I mentioned in another vlog I did, how my video breaks apart every, I think 8 minutes or 7 minutes, somewhere around there. I may have to do a test because that's something that happened a long time ago, like 2 years ago. I did YouTube videos, so it's possible that I could upload a whole video and it won't desync. So I'm going to test that also. Okay, thanks for watching.